Good morning and welcome to Ask the Expert. I'm Joe Taylor. This morning, another in the ongoing series of programs presented by the Northwest Regional Key Program for Quality Early Learning. The program, through the Northwest Institute of Research, oversees a grant from the Office of Child Development and Early Learning at the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services and the Department of Education. The goal of the program is to improve the outcomes for young children as they prepare for school. John Posa from the Pennsylvania Key is the host of the program, and he's here with us throughout the series. John, who do we have as our guest this morning?
Well, thanks, Joe. This morning we have Michael Plazony, who is a Senior Vice President with the Erie Insurance Group. That's a Fortune 500 regional property casualty insurer based in Erie. In his current role, he oversees all aspects of the strategic growth of the life insurance business. But in 2012, Mike was appointed by former Governor Tom Corbett to the Pennsylvania Early Learning Investment Commission. He is also a member of the Senatorial Advisory Committee on Pre-K and Early Intervention, chaired by State Senator Sean Wiley from the 49th District. Welcome to the program, Mike.
Thank you, John. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Of course, there's a lot that we want to talk about, but most importantly, tell us a little bit about what the Governor's Early Learning Investment Commission is.
Well, the Commission is a group of 75 business leaders from across the Commonwealth who know it's important to prepare children with the knowledge and skills required to compete in our growing global economy. And I'm joined by Betsy Bort from Erie Bank and Nick Scott Jr. from Scott Enterprises in representing Erie County in the Commission. And the three of us operate in very different industries, and the 75 of us actually operate in different industries. However, we all share a vested interest in making Pennsylvania a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Our mission is to educate and increase awareness among our state's business executives, policymakers, as well as educational leaders regarding the important connection between two priorities, a strong economy and the high-quality investments we make in early childhood education. So our goal is to increase public investment in high-quality early care and education opportunities for the Commonwealth's youngest learners. Since 90% of the brain is developed by age 5, members of our commission realize that we miss a critical window by waiting to educate children until they reach kindergarten. And while every member was appointed to a 3-year term by a sitting governor at one point in time, it's a nonpartisan group. All of our commission members, Republican and Democrat, know that we have to reach kids young in order to better develop our workforce and to really strengthen our economy. Just to give you just a quick history, in 2002, Governor Schweiker laid the groundwork for our commission by creating the Early Childhood Care and Education Task Force, and they were tasked to study the state of early learning programs in PA. Then in 2008, Governor Rendell signed an executive order creating our commission. Governor Corbett maintained the commission and boosted further investment in early learning during a tough economic climate. And now Governor Wolf has proposed what's really a historic investment in quality high learning programs, $100 million for pre-K counts and $20 million for Head Start supplemental. And if folks are interested in seeing who actually is on the commission from around the Commonwealth, you can check our website, and that is paelic.org, paelic.org.
Yes, we also have other folks like yourself that are on the Early Learning Investment Commission that are from other parts of Pennsylvania, including even in the area here where we broadcast the show from Du Bois. We have John Satika, who's the chair of the Penn Highlands Du Bois Hospital, and also Clarion Hospital's president and CEO, Byron Quinton. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the specific activity that the Investment Commission gets involved with?
Well, there's a lot of different things, I guess one of the things I could tell you about is something that we've done in Erie County, the commission members have been working together with other community business leaders to help create and support an innovative initiative called Erie's Future Fund. This fund is a perfect opportunity to invest locally in high-quality early childhood education and generate measurable returns for our community. It's a public-private partnership that was created in 2011. when leaders from the corporate, nonprofit, and civic centers got together to address the growing concerns about the lack of school readiness among many children that were entering kindergarten. They recognized the significant impact that this was having now and would have in the future on Erie County's economy and quality of life. And happy to report that the Future Fund now provides nearly 300 scholarships to low-income families in neighborhoods with the highest percentage of families with children under 5 living in poverty. And these scholarships, they allow children to attend a high-quality early childhood education program at ages 3 and 4. Children are receiving their educational programs at 18 sites throughout Erie County. Programs must be a STARS 3 or 4 pre-K count site or meet specific Head Start criteria or NAEYC accreditation. Now, the United Way of Erie County's Early Connections Success by 6 initiative provides support and partnership in the effort with high-level oversight. They actually facilitate resources for evaluation, administer the scholarship effort, and provide support to fundraising and policy development. There's 3 major funding sources. One is direct donations that are managed by the Erie Community Foundation, and then there's pre-K EITC or tax credit donations from corporations that are managed through the United Way, and cause-related marketing efforts that are coordinated through Early Connections. Now, as for the commission, we work in the Commonwealth. We work with economic development organizations across the state to educate them on the importance of early learning for the workforce and economy, as well as show them what they can do and how they can do their part to improve quality and access to these programs. So we encourage them to take advantage of Pennsylvania's pre-K tax credit program. The program awards tax credits to businesses that help provide pre-K scholarships to low to middle income families. The credits are 100% for the first $10,000 contributed and 90% for amounts higher than that. So our commission, we ask businesses to consider adopting policies that support working parents when possible, to implement programs and policies that help their employees access and become more engaged in their children's learning and development. And probably the most important thing we ask the business community to do is to convey to legislators and policymakers that their support for public investment in early education. As someone who does not have a vested, and business leaders don't have a vested interest in the early childhood educational field, business leaders make powerful messengers. We really make for a powerful messaging in support of public investment in proven programs with a high return on investment. As everybody knows, right now budget negotiations are at a standstill, but there is widespread bipartisan support for increased investment in high-quality early learning programs. Both Governor Wolf and the House and Senate Republicans have proposed significant increases for these programs. I mentioned a little bit ago $120 million by the governor's plan and $30 million by the House and Senate Republicans. And we're hoping they're going to be able to meet somewhere in the middle in the coming weeks. And for those listening, please join our commission and other business leaders in asking state legislators to consider boosting this investment as much as they can to reach more children.
Well, can you tell us a bit about your personal experience and how you initially were realizing the importance of quality early learning?
Yeah, it's interesting. First of all, my wife of 26 years and I have 5 wonderful children. So, being a parent, I understand the value of what we do for our kids. And I'll tell you, being a commission member has been very rewarding. I've learned a tremendous amount, and I've come a long way on this journey, at each point. And I really joined the commission to help make a difference in our community and the Commonwealth. Education is a key. It's a key to helping more people in our region and more in our Commonwealth become self-sufficient and break the cycle of poverty. As everybody has probably heard, it's critical that children are proficient in literacy by the end of 3rd grade. But close to 70% of our youngest children, especially in the cities in Pennsylvania, in the inner cities, live in families at 300% of the poverty with little or no access to high-quality early education. Children that are not ready for kindergarten will have a hard time catching up. And a recent study showed that 1 in 4 children entering kindergarten is both low income and not ready to learn. so, from my own motivation standpoint, I want to be able to help folks and help these kids. And I've visited many high-quality preschool programs here in Erie County, and I've seen with my own eyes the great role they play in helping children begin to build healthy relationships with other kids, their teachers, and coming from an industry, the insurance industry, that's all about relationships. I can assure everyone it's truly never too early to start developing such so-called soft skills as collaboration and teamwork.
Yeah, it's not only the soft skills, but STEM skills with science, technology, engineering, and math are even critically important today. And research confirms that the brain is particularly receptive to learning math and logic, even between the ages of 1 and 4. And of course, problem-solving, STEM skills, and the like are so critically important for our workforce of the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Obviously, in the insurance business, that's something that would obviously come into play with young people and developing these skills at an earlier age so that they are prepared, correct?
Correct. The younger, the better.
What types of early childhood learning specifically do you think would better prepare children for the workforce when they become young adults entering the workforce?
Well, it's at ages 3 and 4 is critical for kids to really get into these high quality preschools. Like we were saying before, 90% of that person's brain is developed by age 5. That's why our commission really believes investing in the years before kindergarten is so important. If our children are developing the foundation for language, math, the logic, relationship building, like we talked about, and the self-esteem from birth to age 5, then we should be investing accordingly, in those years. And as far as the STEM skills, if you look at it, look at what's happening in the workforce. Retiring baby boomers, by 2018, all but the youngest baby boomers will be of retirement age, and so about 76 million boomers are going to retire, and there's only about 51 million in line to replace them, which is a big gap, a $25 million worker gap, or 25 million worker gap, and we're particularly vulnerable to these challenges because today's workforce has a need for employees that are well trained in STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and math, and just as important are the basic skills that will allow adults to work on as a team, and display leadership and think critically. So, these kind of skills, known as executive function skills, they're valued. Actually, there was a survey that came out that surveyed 300 employers, and executive function skills were valued more highly than an applicant's college major by 93% of those employers. So, as far as the age, excuse me, that. There's tests that have been measured different forms of executive function skills, indicate that they begin to develop, believe it or not, shortly after birth, which ages 3 to 5 being that window of opportunity. And as John said, STEM, the kids are particularly receptive to learning math and logic between the ages of 1 and 4, which is incredible. So those early years are really the best time for the individual to develop both the executive function skills as well as that interest in STEM.
It seems like for the past decade, at least, we've been hearing so much about what you just mentioned, that is young people entering the workforce not having the skills and education, especially the skills needed for today's especially high-tech jobs. But over that time, and more recently, there's been a lot more technical training made available. In your opinion, are we beginning to narrow the gap? Or should more have been done earlier, which I'm assuming should have been, but how are we doing in catching up? We have to be better than the deficit between skilled workers and the jobs out there than we were, we'll say, 5 years ago or so.
Yeah, that's true. But the kind of what we're focused on, the commission is really focused on, are those early years, and we have such a gap now of the amount of kids that are not in a high quality pre-K and are in that category that I mentioned before, that are not in a high quality pre-K. They're low income, and 25%, 1 in 4, of the students are not ready for kindergarten. And if these kids enter kindergarten kindergarten not ready, the average is 18 months behind. They never catch up. So what we're focused on is the kids now, because you think about it, the ones that are going through the 3 and 4 years now, 3 and 4 year olds now, we've got 2 decades to get them ready, give or take, to become future employees. And so if you look at the worker gap that we have, we can try to train folks going forward, but we're going to have a shortage of overall workers, and so we want to be able to get the kids that are kind of being left behind in there, into the system, so that they can succeed.
I want to switch gears a little bit and have you talk about a special event that's coming up on December 12th. The Northwest Institute of Research will be sponsoring a special opportunity to share the importance of quality early care and education in partnership with the Northwest Regional Key and Keystone STARS and the Erie Bayhawks and community partners. The Erie Bayhawks, of course, is a developmental league for the NBA based in Erie, and of course they play their games at the Erie Insurance Arena. But on December 12th, there's going to be an event with Keystone STARS for kids. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your role and the involvement in it?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, John. The promotional theme is Star Wars Night, and again, it's presented, like you said, by Keystone STARS, and it's to get ready for the new Star Wars movie. So there's going to be movie tickets to the premiere will be given away for the premiere of the new Star Wars movie, as well as toys and prizes. And the goal is really to provide an opportunity to share the importance of quality early care and education in our community. So the doors are going to open at 6. The game is at 7. The first 500 children, 12 and under, will receive a free T-shirt, a Bayhawks / Keystone STARS, co-branded T-shirt. And I'll be there. Other Early Learning Investment Commission members will be there. Other business leaders, some political figures. We're trying to get somebody from the governor's office to be there, and then, of course, children and families. So, we're looking forward to this event to create some community awareness and have some fun.
Yeah, and I know that there's going to be some involvement either before or after the game with some of the players, with some of the kids to have a chance to meet with them. But if anyone, off subject a little bit from early learning, if anyone's not had the opportunity to go see the Erie Bayhawks, it's quite an experience because the level of play is pretty much very close to what you would see in an NBA game, and we don't have that opportunity too often.
You're right.
When we speak of early learning as relating to the business community, the assumption is we're talking about the math and science, again, the STEM skills. What role, if any, does the business community see for, and I'm taking this up to the college level now, but, liberal arts type things, literature, history, fine arts, language, that type of thing, as far as being things that are applicable to the business community and to getting a job 20 years down the road?
Yeah. You mean as far as is there things that the universities could be doing from that standpoint?
Well, no, I'm asking how important. Obviously, the STEM skills are important to the business community, but what about the other things, just like language, communication ability, that type of thing?
Oh yeah, I mean that's critical. I think I mentioned before that that survey of 300 employers, the executive function skills were really valued more highly than the major. So the big thing is how can you learn these other skills during college, and if kids get a right start, an early the right start at the beginning, and when they're 3 and 4 going and they're ready for kindergarten, and they've developed those skills, you could be successful with just about any major if you're depending on what you want to do. I myself had a liberal arts degree, political science, that kind of lent itself well to insurance underwriting, which is how I got my start in the business.
Last year, Mike, I know you spoke as a business leader and as a member of both the Early Learning Investment Commission and Ready Nation at a bipartisan Capitol Hill policy briefing in Washington, and the briefing was on early childhood and a lifetime of health. Tell us a little bit about that and how that became, how you got involved in that.
Yeah, well, there's Ready Nation is kind of like almost a larger version of our commission, if you will. It's nationwide. It's a national type of effort, and folks can join. Business leaders can join, and so I was invited because of my involvement in the Early Learning Investment Commission, and it was interesting because we've got a lot of stats that we've told about how quality early learning yields long-term returns to society, and actually this is kind of a good segue. Up to $17 return for every dollar invested in the form of increased earnings and income tax, reduced special education and welfare costs, and the really big savings is in reduced crime. But there's additional research that has just come out, and this is what I was talking about in D.C. In front of the congressional committee, is that there's another set of results that are important, and relating to the health, both physical and otherwise, which is a topic that people in my line of work care about a great deal, especially businesses that are at least partially insured, meaning we bear some of the enormous costs of maintaining the healthy American workforce. So a good place to start is something that's called the ABC study, the Abecedarian study, which focused on a group of children that were born in the 70s. The research component related to the kids' first 5 years of life, involved in an intervention program with cognitive and social stimulation, 2 meals and a snack on weekdays, and parent education during regular pediatrician visits. Researchers followed up with the program participants in their mid-30s, and they found some impressive results, including several related specifically to their physical health. And the impact was greatest for males. For example, none of the men in the experimental group showed signs of metabolic syndrome, which refers to having a large waist combined with elevated cholesterol and blood pressure levels. Of course, these factors are associated with a greater risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes as well. So there were none, and there appeared in 1 out of 4 men in the control group who had not received any early intervention services when young. The adults had good cholesterol. There was also lower experience of coronary heart disease, the angina, the heart attack, or even death within the next 10 years. There were also some other studies as well, but in the interest of time, don't need to go into that. But the thing is, the conclusion of these studies is that investing in young children can also be a strategy for improving the health of all Americans. Because before this, it was like I said before, the reduction in crime, more income, and now there appears to also be a health connection there with the kids that are learning good eating habits.
Well, our time is coming to a quick close, and I just wanted to ask if you had any closing comments before we wrap it up.
Yes. Well, as a business leader, I understand how investment in prevention costs less than to fix it down the road. And investment in high-quality early childhood education will yield some of the best return that I've seen, and that we could do as a society, because it helps the individual, it helps the local community, and it helps the overall society. And I believe it's that important.
Well, thanks, Mike. I really appreciate you being on our program, and I wanted to remind our audience that it's Keystone STARS Night with the Erie Bayhawks on December 12th. So if you have an opportunity, the promotional theme is Star Wars Night. So plenty of giveaways at that night as well. Again, Mike, thanks for being on the program.
Thank you, John.
And that's our program for today. We'll be back in 2 weeks at this same time. In the meantime, you can go online to learn more at papromiseforchildren.com. For John Posa and the Northwest Regional Key Program for Quality Early Learning, I'm Joe Taylor. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.